Okay, so setup wise, as we said, there's two main setups. Okay, now this is the same setup you would play this type of shot from anything from sort of 50 yards and closer. A short shot. So we've got a long shot setup and a short shot setup. Okay. Long setup we talked about in the last few lessons. Full width the stance, full length the club. You're setting up for power. We've got a 20-yard shot there, Ralph. The last thing you want is power. Okay. So you bring your feet, as we can see in both of these images here, closer together. Okay. The ball now you can see is pretty much placed in the middle of your feet there. Okay. And your hands are down the grip slightly. So we're in a small setup shot to play a small swing. Now before, what you were doing to try and was get it up in the air, the old sensation, your head was staying down, and the flick of the wrist now with that right hand to try and scoop it up in the air. Okay, we said that the sensation needs to be almost like you're dragging that golf club through. So the shaft angle at address there now is quite vertical. As we swing through the golf ball, okay, you can see a nice contact of that golf ball there now. We just sort of pause those there. Look at the difference in your left wrist particularly. The left wrist and the arm are now straight where this left wrist wants to flick, okay? And your left hand, when you finish this shot, actually finishes, you can see almost the hinge there in that wrist there, as that right hand is sort of flicking, whereas this one now, your hands are moving continually through the shot. So that drill that we talked about, you can just set up in the normal position, okay? Place the golf club to the right of your foot, and then drag it completely now to the left of your foot, keeping it on the ground. And that's just purely a drill, just so you get the feeling of the club staying as vertical as it needs to be. When you play the shot, obviously the club's not going to be dragging on the ground. I'm sure you're aware of that. It will come off the ground and come up the other side. But the sensation of keeping the hands in front, striking down on it rather than flick scoop, that's the problem. Now you play this shot with any club you like, really. If we want to get the ball to run a long way, we use a flatter face club, so a 7-iron or a 6-iron, a club with less angle. If for whatever reason we need a bit more loft, and that could be a bunker's in the way, a bank, anything, rough, whatever, anything you want to hit the ball over, okay, and therefore not get so much run, we'd use a more lofted or more angled club. So basically any of your letters, your pitching wedge or your P and your S basically, okay, would give you the height you're looking for. But it's the same technique. It's just a different club giving you a different result.
Just the loft
of the golf club, Your 7-iron's going to have somewhere in the region about sort of 36 to 38 degrees of loft. And your pitching wedge will be somewhere in the region of sort of 45 to 48 depending on the brand you've got, okay? So you choose the club for the type of shot you've got. What you will find though is a lower lofted club, i.e. the 6 and the 7 and the 8, will be far easier to use and less, a bigger margin of error, less a destructive shot than the pitching wedge or the sandman, okay? But there are situations, unfortunately, Ralph, when you've got to use the loft.
To get all the sun.
Exactly. But you choose that in accordance. If you're playing for any of these flags on this chipping green now, there's nothing in the way. If we were on the bank at the top there, you might want to play at the top of the bank now.
Like I said, if where the white tees are, that one, if that was the flag, you'd have to use the sandwich to flop it up over.
Exactly, because you couldn't run a ball through this long grass. The elevation would be too great. I mean, it's probably about 6-7 foot elevation there. So you need to get a bit of height on that shot to get it over the top, okay? But again, it's the club that gets it up in the air, not your right hand. The club still works nice and low, keeping the hands in front. Does that make sense then, Good, okay.